Why do we keep going back to things that we already know aren't going to satisfy us? That's exactly what we kept seeing in John 4, 5, and 6 when we read that this week. Someone was searching for fulfillment, someone stuck and not changing, and then people following Jesus, but for the wrong reasons. So that's what we're getting in today, John 4 through 6. So welcome back to Born Sinners Podcast. My name is Brad, and I'm here with Marty. He doesn't like to wave, and Taylor.
Hey, you can't see my hand.
All right. I don't know what to do with my hands. So I was talking to you guys earlier. I was saying I felt much better about this week reading John 4 through 6. So I'm not sure if it's because it was more like stories, like it was easier for me to understand, or because I just figured out a better system for me. I don't know how you guys felt it went for you this week.
Well, for me, keeping a notepad and actually writing down some of the verses, it helped me remember a little bit more and kind of just take stock of more of the word.
Yeah, I definitely just dove right in. Forgot to pray. I'm like, I'm going to be better at this time. I forgot. I was like, I just want to just read it.
I mean, did you like get any closer to praying?
I prayed after.
Hey, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Like I don't do like a big long prayer, but I just say like, give me wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Ask him for knowledge and to like the knowledge that I get to help me love him more, and kind of direct my steps towards him, like to his word more.
Like refocus your mind.
Yeah, like my mind just went another direction just now, but in the middle of trying to do that. So before we get into these chapters, I had a story for you, Taylor. And I hadn't told you guys this yet because I wanted to save it for this very momentous occasion. A friend of mine called the other day, told me that you had this neon sign, which I'm glad to see you took down. But he was watching it on YouTube, and he kind of had it up and was listening, and then would come back to look at it every once in a while. He's like, I don't want to pick out your podcast, but your cousin has a neon sign, and his head takes up the O, and it just looks like it says you have a neon sign that says hell behind you. So the devil was trying to take over our podcast.
I mean, as he should try, but will not succeed.
Bam. Well, I switched it and I didn't know.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So John 4, what is so
pretty
funny?
good. Anyways, John 4.
I didn't think we needed to talk about your neon hell sign too much. We don't need to give the devil more than he deserves.
Bro, there's no way. My mom just said, the Lord.
That was your mom with the microwave?
No, that was the
what was that?
What is it? The smoke detector.
Dude, and I'm the one with the candle.
Oh man, I was telling somebody the other day too. I was like, every episode seems to be a little better. Like I feel better about it. And I felt really good about this one. And we got babies crying, the Lord burning Marty's house down.
That's why I have a background on.
But hey, man, this is episode 4. That's the Jewish number of testing.
Okay. I didn't know that. Is that a real thing?
Yeah. It's a real thing.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not
Like I,
versed on the
I
numbers.
I know a little bit because I've been tested a little bit,
Oh,
and
nice.
I can only count to about 4 anyway, so it works.
I can go up to 5, and then I got to get a
Oh,
second hand
dude.
involved. So the Samaritan woman, speaking of the Jews and not being able to um, associate with Samaritans, that was obviously the big story that I got in John 4. I don't know. Did any verses stick out to you or anything specific you guys took from that one?
Go ahead, Taylor.
All right. I mean, there was 4:13. Those who drink this water will get thirsty again. 4:14. But those that drink the water that I give them will never be thirsty again. The water that I will give them will become in them a spring which will provide them with the life giving water and give them eternal life.
I wrote that same one.
Pretty sure we all did.
Yeah, for sure. Did you write 15 down? I thought was pretty interesting. Once the Samaritan woman heard what Jesus had to say, she's like, "Give me that water."
She's thirsty.
Yeah, basically like
she's thirsty. She's thirsty for that eternal water.
She is parched for that living water there. I feel like we all are, though.
I think that's kind of what Jesus was saying. It.
yeah, I kind of took it like what I wrote down was like that we keep going back to things that don't satisfy. So not necessarily, I mean, he's talking about water, obviously at the well, but um, kind of trying to find peace and in things that are not God, like not instead of going to Him. Like for example, for me, I would have never told you that I had like a drinking problem necessarily, but I now it's not it's not funny. I don't know why we're laughing
I
at
wasn't laughing.
my drinking issues. But looking back, like um, I think I did try to use it like as a coping mechanism for some stuff. I retired from the sheriff's office after I broke my hip, and I wasn't in like Taylor shape, you know, like CrossFit, big muscles and stuff. Can I see them? But I was in pretty good shape. I played a lot of sports and broke my hip, and I couldn't really do anything. So then I just kind of like replaced all that with drinking, and thought it was like, oh, I'm just being fun, and it was something I like to do. But then with that comes like, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't know, I might lose a friend or two, but when you're going out and like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm gonna go drink. Like you have a certain type of friend that you're just drinking with all the time. You know what I mean? And I still need to keep working on this and get better at it. But I think reading this kind of really, my eyes weren't open before; they're open now. Like,
Definitely put it in perspective.
yeah, like need to surround yourself with better people, and like that makes decisions on what are you doing during your free time. And
For sure. We're all, at the end of the day, we're all fighting our own demons. People don't know about them. And like for me, like, her story, we all have some type of version of that. Different situation, same pattern. It just made me think that like, um, really like throughout life, like everything has some type of rate of exchange. Like there's something transactional. Like you give your time, you give your energy, you give your attention, and you expect to get something back out of it. So, um, I mean, like you said, a lot of stuff we run to, it's not a good trade. We're putting in a lot and, into something that's going to fade out eventually. And Um, I mean, it's like the Rudy Gobert trade. You know, they gave up everything and it wasn't worth anything. And I'm pretty sure you guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
No clue,
I,
man.
I love that the next thing I was about to say is we don't watch basketball like that anymore.
It was a terrible trade. Terrible
I know,
trade off.
bad trade.
This is the guy that gave the whole NBA COVID to, because I'll touch microphones and stuff. So he already didn't have a good rap, but
Wow.
but for
I mean,
real though, like,
that's a really big accusation. I think we should back off a little bit.
no,
You did
look at
not
the
hear that
videos.
first. Okay.
Look at the videos, dog.
Oh, you
Big
guys believe
dog.
in COVID?
But like at the end of the day, we do that spiritually. You know, we overpay for things that don't really last. And you know, like what the verse says, you know, whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. So like that's a just completely different exchange than what we're used to.
Yeah, basically, in a nutshell, temporary things just always leave you needing more. No?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I mean,
but
the
what but why? You know what I mean? Like I mean I have an answer for why, but I'm curious on like what your perspective is. Like why do we keep going back to those things?
I was thinking, even just physically, the brain chemistry with drugs and alcohol. It's kind of that endorphin rush or that serotonin boost, short-lived serotonin boost. You're like, man, that felt good. Let's keep going. Let's go get a little more. Let's hang out with different friends and party a little harder next time. Or
Mhm. Yeah. I mean my perspective, like I think we go back to those things because it's immediate. You know, it's that
yeah,
instant satisfaction.
quick
You know,
fix.
yep. You know, God's work is deep. You know, everything else works pretty immediate. You know, drinking, whatever it is, and you know, we choose that because it is instant, and we're choosing it over what's really going to last. And I think that's part of, like I said, I'm in that season where like I'm really trying to understand as well as like really realizing like half of the stuff I do now or like been doing, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna be a strong foundation to where I want to be.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think kind of your question, John 5 kind of starts talking about that a little bit with the guy that's been stuck at the pool for, was it 38 years, almost 4 decades?
38 years.
Yeah, that's when I read that, I'm like,
That's over
I'm about,
3 high school careers.
I'm about to.
No, that's over 3 just like school careers from kindergarten to
I was
senior
gonna say,
year.
I am not the smartest guy in the world, and I did high school in 4 years only, Marty. So if it took you 12, 13 years to do high school, sorry. But yeah, that's, I mean,
It's a
an
long time.
entire school. I mean, I'll be 40 this year. So that's kind of what hit me, is like this guy was stuck there, watching everybody else, just waiting. And probably say that now I'm 39. Kind of feel like I'm almost in his spot, like I am him, just trying to like get it figured out in the same amount of time. Um,
I mean, what stood out to me was like he wasn't just stuck, you know, like he learned how to live stuck. Like he chose to be there.
yeah, that's a good way to put it too.
You know, and
And
like I feel
then,
like a lot of us do that too with our vices and you know what it is because it's comfortable.
yeah, and I think, like I said, I've been going down that road. Like I need to make healthier choices for myself and my family. Um, and in John 5:6, I had to read this 2 or 3 times. It was like the 3rd time it kinda hit me, but Jesus says, "Do you want to get well?" And then what hit me about that is, like, do we actually want to change? Or are we just well,
Making excuses.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it that question just forces you to just to be honest and really ask, like, what are you really relying on? Like, am I really trusting God or am I looking somewhere else to fix me? And, you know, what I'm starting to realize is, God isn't waiting for me to fix it all first. And, I said this in the last episode too, like he meets me in it. And it's all about really that trust. And that's the hardest part because it's uncertain. And, you know, all these temporary fixes, like they just become normal. And like for me, like if I'm being real, man, like it's not just one thing. Like it's all of it. Like for me, like depression, grief, even like the dating world, like I've had my moments where instead of actually just dealing with it, like I just learned to just live with it. And, you know, after a while, it's I don't even question it anymore. And that's where I was at. I just think, this is how it is. And, we don't really try to change anymore, but we just try to manage it. Like, and, I mean, with our services now, like the service we're in at our church, it's like the title's like make Jesus the CEO of your life, like which we should, like we're sitting here trying to manage it where he knows all the answers, he knows where to put the pieces at. So my
Yeah,
bad.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about CEOs now.
yeah, I think sticking to that, like, John 5:14, he says, "Stop sinning or something worse may happen to you." Um, so that's like that accountability, and I think back to, there's any, like, leadership, um, person, like, those guys that get paid a bunch of money to talk at a TED Talk or something, they all say, like, "You are who you surround yourself with," and I think that's what I was kinda referencing earlier. Is like,
Mm.
before I was like, it was a social thing, like, I would drink too much, and I would just, um, not hold myself accountable, and then I wasn't putting myself around people that would hold me accountable. Um, that's wild. Um, but the other thing I wrote down here, specifically about the stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. I wanted to throw this back to episode 1, all the way back. It's almost been a month, just throwing that out there, pretty wild. Um, dishes. Remember we were talking about dishes? um,
Say it again.
dishes. I don't know what that was, but don't do that again.
That was definitely my chair.
Um, I thought
Promise. Promise.
I thought Marty was messing with my sound on my freaking voice thing.
No, I'm just saying, say it again.
Say it again. Say it again. No, dishes.
Oh.
Um, so this was something I was talking to somebody about, and obviously, Marty, you might not have this problem because you're not married, but Taylor and I were kind of talking about how not doing the
I'm sure
dishes
Marty
kind
has
of
dirty
upset.
dishes, man.
Well, yeah, but his mom probably doesn't yell at him about them. I'm just joking.
Because we use paper plates.
Nice.
Genius.
But what is your guys' thought? Like, do you consider laziness a sin?
I mean, essentially, it could be considered a form of gluttony, no? Like just doing it over and over again. I mean, that's kind of where my mind went right now.
Yeah, like you're choosing. basically, depending on what, like, you can say, oh, like for me, I was like, I would always just be like, I'm busy. Like, I'm just always on the move. I'm always got something going on. So I'm not being lazy. I'm just busy. But then I mean, it was laziness and I was making excuses for it, but um, you're putting yourself, like your own needs over that of your wife, basically, um, or spouse or whatever it is. What might not be dishes for you. It might be whatever, laundry. But that was just something that I had a conversation with somebody about a while back. So when I saw that stop sinning or something worse may happen to you, brought me back to dishes.
I think it just depends on the context of where the laziness is from. Like, is the at the end of the day, I feel like if the laziness is keeping you from God, then yeah, it could be a sin. Like, but also it depends on what you end up doing with that time instead.
Well, I'm gonna call
You're
you
gonna
guys
call me.
something.
You're gonna call me out right now.
Yeah, because I think I think what you started to say it kind of makes sense, but basically, like I should walk out here right now and tell my wife, "Hey, I'm not gonna do the dishes because I'm gonna be in here praying, so it's okay because I'm talking to God."
That's not what I
That's
meant, Brad.
that's the excuse I
That's
use.
that's what.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I
Taylor,
heard. Marty told me.
yeah, Taylor's like, I'm about to go out there and say the same thing. We'll see how that gets us.
Eh, 2 out of 3 times,
Um,
man.
yeah, I just when I first was asked that, it was posed as a question to me. I was like, no, laziness, that's not a sin, but you're basically like idolatry, right? That's a sin, like putting anything
Like
before
like the dollar
above God.
store?
No, will you stop making fun of how I say some
I
stuff?
just heard Dollar Tree. I'm sorry.
The Dollar Tree.
The
It's not
Dollar
even
Tree.
the Dollar Tree anymore. It's the
It
$5
might be
tree.
a sin. That might
The Dollar Tree. It could be. You'll find a lot of stuff in there.
I
Proceed,
bought
Brad.
I bought wine at a dollar store one time.
dude.
Was
Was
it
that when
water first?
is that when you realized there was an issue?
Yeah, that was not. You beat me to it because I was going to say this was not like I have a problem and I needed a drink. I was just at the dollar store and saw that they had wine, and I was like, I don't know how you could not buy it. I can at least try it.
I mean, was it worth $1 or was it worth more than $1?
You know what it tasted like? It tasted like the good wine was filtered and then they took the filter and they drained it into another bottle and then they gave that to you. It's like
Put it
They
through a
use the
Brita
dollar
filter.
they use the dollar bills to filter it.
I the dollar bills. That's Dollar bills are gross. That's probably one of the dirtiest things on the planet, next to your phone. No, so I I like orange juice with pulp in it, but I found that I do not like wine with pulp in it. Is basically what I'm saying.
Dude.
It was like all the sediment.
You had,
It was disgusting.
you had
It
boba
was
wine.
actually just Kool-Aid that was fermented a little too long.
Like somebody made Kool-Aid and just never drank it
That's that prison wine.
and let it sit there. It's the hooch.
The hooch hitting the hooch, dog.
Yeah. The other thing in John 5, bringing it back to that was, and I think this happens a few times, but this is the first time in this, like in what we are discussing, is the Pharisees getting upset at Jesus because he does something on the Sabbath. I don't know if you guys looked into that at all or have anything that you looked at, but I just think it's interesting, like and I want to keep looking into it more to understand it, because it's like they have these laws that they made on top of God's law that, like, you can't do something on the Sabbath. And he's like, yeah, I can. And I'm trying to find the actual verse that he says.
Let me see if I can find it because I was reading
So,
it to you today.
so it kind of goes back to, I thought those were the Moses laws, right?
Correct, yeah. And then they basically put like laws on top of laws. Like, for example, I don't remember where I was reading this, but they made a law like you can't work on the Sabbath, right? So masonry was a big job back then, and to do that you would mix water and dirt, and that would make mud. So they made it illegal to spit in the dirt because now you're making mud.
Hmm.
And that's not a law that God made. So it's a man-made law basically, and that's where Jesus basically, I don't remember the exact verse, but he says, my
He said,
father.
yeah, it's 5:17. My father is always working, so am I.
Yeah. Somebody needs to call Chick-fil-A.
That's not real food, man.
Oh, sorry. but it's real good. Just saying. Sorry. They used the wrong kind of oils for Taylor.
Wrong kind of oils, wrong kind of meats, everything. I'd probably get along with the Pharisees. But
Go ahead.
I was gonna say ultimately it kind of goes back to, and they mentioned it in chapter 4, but religious authority versus real actual authority. Jesus the one with the real authority compared to the man-made laws and the Mosaic laws that the Pharisees are trying to follow and jump through every single hoop. And this man, after 38 years, needs to get well.
Yeah, and they were like, basically they said, he waited 38 years. What's one more day?
Yeah. Condemning him.
Yeah, I guess that's crazy. Like, because it was done on a day, they weren't just like, oh, I don't like that Jesus guy. They were like, he needs to die.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to kill him.
You're dead, basically. Sorry.
Straight to jail.
They wanted to snap, like Thanos.
Oh shoot.
I just watched that last night. I'm like, still holds up.
Nerd.
It's fine. It's probably why I'm not married.
There's nerdy women out there. One of these days we're going to talk about the dating world in the as
You
a
mean
Christian.
I'm gonna talk about the dating world?
Well,
Right.
we're going to talk about your dating world. Yeah, I'm not.
But I mean, pretty much it was like father, like son. Pretty much his quotes were, "Father raises from the dead, I raise from the dead."
Yeah, that was what I was kind of picking up on, and I don't know. I keep going back to like why they were so upset. Like this, he did this miracle, and then they're not even like, oh my gosh, like look what this man just did. They're like, oh, what day is it? Off with his head. Like that's kind of wild to me. Do you have anything else on 4 or 5? Want to move on to 6 and dive into that a little bit? Any other verses from 5?
Yeah, I did. Thinking of the quick fixes we were discussing in 4, verse 9 in chapter 5, verse 9, it said, immediately this man got well. If we're looking for a quick fix. I think sometimes Jesus is it.
Immediately as quick as it gets.
Definitely.
I'm trying to look that up, but of course, my phone wants to freeze.
That's why I got paper and pen, man.
Yeah, well, I just didn't write that one down. Sorry,
You wrote it.
Taylor.
You wrote it backwards in the ideas
wrote
book.
it- I did it completely backwards in this book.
Backwards and
I
upside
ruined
down.
my free book.
But if
It'll
you put
be
it in a
okay.
mirror, though, it's gonna read perfectly.
Years from now, we're gonna have a cool story about this thing, but that's years from now. So John 6, we have basically kind of like what I took from this one was like motives is what I wrote down.
Motives.
Yeah, like motives, like basically they wanted what Jesus could give them, but they didn't actually want him, is what I kind of. But and I think he says in
I wrote down benefits.
same kind of.
Sticking with the corporate world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in John 6:26, he says, "You are looking for me, not because you saw the signs I performed, but because you ate the loaves and had your fill." And then I wrote basically they're following God for the wrong reasons, wanting what he gives and not him. Basically, they weren't there for him; they were there for what he gave them.
Yep, I wrote
Chapter.
that down too.
I was gonna say chapter 4, she thirsty, and chapter 6, they hungry.
Well, even so, I wrote that one down too. John,
That's
Hey, you
John
think
6:35.
you think she was drinking that dollar store wine? She was so thirsty. Yeah.
I mean, after 5 husbands, maybe.
Well, it's probably why she has 5, but
So John 6:35. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. So kind of bringing it back, John 4 and John 6 kind of together.
well, then what does he say? He says, "I'm the bread of life."
Yeah.
You know, and that's like I think that's kind of like that whole section kind of stuck out to me. And then the one thing it was a 665. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws them. And I think that's kind of how I'm feeling where I'm at now. Like, it hit me just because like it's not about just me trying to like just trying harder or figuring it out. Or even coming to God. It's just something he has to do in me. So it's not just effort. And it's more about just letting those things go. And I think that's probably the hardest part that we all face. Is just letting go of those things that you get that instant gratification or that satisfaction. Well,
Well, go ahead.
no, I was just it's a little quiet here.
I was just gonna say the verse after that, John 6, verse 66. I thought it was interesting, kind of for the numbers deal again, because 6 is the imperfect number. It says, because of this, many of Jesus' followers turned back and would not go with him anymore.
Dang.
Yeah. hit pretty heavy.
It's a pretty good call out. Big dog. Big dog.
Oh, god. That's a little dog, man.
That's hilarious. Um, yeah, that's so. When he says that, it's not any of the 12 that left. It's like some of the 5,000 that he just fed.
Which is wild. That's a lot of people.
Right. And then right after that, he says, in verse 67, "You do not want to leave too, do you?" And it says, Jesus asked the 12, and Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe you and to know that you are the Holy One of God." I think if I was alive back then, and this is not like a good thing, but I think he would have chosen me as one of his 12. You know, like they're all like,
Hopefully not Judas.
no, definitely I would pass on that idea. I would
Br-
like to believe.
Bratis.
Bratis. No.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, thanks. It's Bradford.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know.
I don't know why you called me a brat. That was kind of rude.
Well, you've been called it before.
All right. Well, since Marty wants to poke fun,
Uh-oh. You know what, Brad? I just want to apologize to you. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings.
Marty, I just want to ask you if God stopped giving you things, would you still follow him? Since you wanted to pick on me?
I will answer this, yeah. I think, honestly, like for myself, I would say now probably no. But back maybe a year or two, I think, the problem with my faith was like it was based on what I got. And, for the most part, I feel like a lot of people are like that, where if that stops, we just pull back because we're not getting that we're not getting the results. Like a lot of people, if people dive deep into working out, they dive deep into these diets and they see the results coming, so they continue to go forward. So and I think that's where a lot of people think how your faith is supposed to be. You dive deep into it, you get something. But that's not always the case. So like now, yeah, I'd still like is it going to be hard? Absolutely. But when it comes to like me back in the day, I pulled back. Like I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I pulled back because I'm like, you know what, this shit's not going my way. Like it was like you said, you promised, and I've learned I've been a very stubborn person, and I've been trying to work on that. And I've been stubborn with God sometimes, like back in the day. Like now, like my view is like, all right, well, what is God trying to teach me out of this? All right. Like, what am I not prepared for? What do I need to work on now to get to where he wants me to be? And like that that's shifted maybe last year, when I started at where we're working at now, like, all right, like I really got to lock in and, try to push through these trials, these tribulations, through just everything that's coming at me because the devil's going to bring us down. You know, even the slightest things, even today, all the mishaps today in the last like 40 minutes we had,
I don't
you
know what you're
know.
talking about.
Yeah,
This has
yeah.
gone flawlessly.
But yeah, to get off that tangent now, yes. But back then, like I will transparently say, like I would pull back, and that's just kind of the reality of it because, like, that sounds bad. I sound like a little kid. Like I didn't get my way. Like I'm gonna do all this stuff, and I'm not gonna get what I was promised. And then that's why I say like there's that rate of exchange where we it's instilled in us where we're expecting something back. And like I've learned, like don't expect anything. You know, what you get back is always a blessing, no matter what it is. And Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's um. So I'm gonna agree with you. And I think that anybody tells you that they were born and they just full faith, full steam ahead, and never had a doubt, um, is either really, really young and hasn't hit the doubt stage yet, or they're lying to you, or I'm wrong. I mean, if somebody wants to tell me, and my bad, I apologize if I offended you, but I think everybody goes through that. And
Since they came out the womb, Brad.
um, yeah, well, when I said that, I mean, I'm thinking of my daughter.
Dude,
She's got full faith, like
she's ball is life for Jesus.
she really is, and
Like,
that's super cool. But I do think that there's going to be. She's 7, right? Um, Taylor's daughter also. She trusts Jesus just as much as she trusts Taylor, which is scary. Um, but I think everybody like you. The worst thing that's happened to my daughter is I didn't let her have a donut for breakfast one morning. You know what I mean? Like she's got a as you get older and you have some stuff come up. I think you might have those doubts and the creep in, and I think it's who's around you, like to bring you back. And I mentioned this before. Years ago, I'd go to church, but honestly, I'd be like, there were times where I'd like check my watch, like, you think he's done soon? Like thinking about what I'm gonna do afterwards, where I'm gonna go eat. Like I wasn't there like I am now. Like I actually look forward to being there and learning. So I think it's definitely a mind shift and a mind. You got to want to be there, I guess.
it just reminded me of the book I was reading.
The
Do
Bible.
you think hurrying is a sin? Like
Are
always
you
being in
asking, or is that the book, or
no,
are you asking?
I'm asking. Like, do you think being in a hurry is a sin?
That would mean all of Dallas is sinning.
Because like the one,
Um,
so it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It's from John Mark Comer. I don't know where his ethnic background is, but
remember when you were making fun of me when I was
yeah,
saying the name? Go ahead and say that one more time. Try it again.
I'm not going to. It's been recorded, so. But that book, the one thing that really caught my eye was, I'm not sure if he said it or he was reading it from somebody else, but he quoted them. The quote was like, if the devil can't make you sin, um, but he can, goodness, what the devil can't make you sin, but he can make you busy. He can keep you busy. And like, I feel like a lot of us are busy and we're too busy for God sometimes. And life happens at the end of the day, and it's hard to just recenter and put God and Jesus in the middle, because like you need that instant um resolution of where you're at. Like you need that when it comes to certain situations. So it's like, but also it's like sometimes we just need to wait. So but I don't know, that just reminded me of that book. So shout out to that book. It's a pretty good read. I haven't finished it yet, but
Can we say the author's name one more time? It's In a Hurry. What is the name of the book?
The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and it's by John Mark Comer, if you're Hispanic like me.
Comer.
All right. Um, I already called you out once, but can you tell me what I just thought of when you just said that?
No.
You were talking about like life, keeping you busy and too busy for God and
Me
all this
passing
stuff,
out the other day.
and me saying, "Hey, let's go to worship night." And you were like, "Oh, but a nap and
Dude,
this." And I was like, "Oh, are you seriously?" And I said this because Taylor said it, and I was quoting Taylor. You telling me that life is going to get in the way of God right now? And you know what you said? Yep.
hey man, I'm not perfect, man. But I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
me.
I was exhausted, bro. Like I
I'm just
needed to
giving you a hard
just
time.
kind of just be
You,
there. And
yeah, you very clearly need your beauty sleep, so I get it. But okay, I think I'm done. I'm sorry. That was three strikes. Sorry,
no,
the door was
I
open. I had to jump through it.
no big dog. I
Um,
earned that one.
woof woof.
Woofy.
Um, there was something else that when you were talking about that, we when we were talking about following God, like if He doesn't give you what you wanted, and kind of like being there. That was a lot of stuff I've heard lately, like sermons and different videos. And I don't know, maybe I really needed to hear this, but like basically everything that God does is good. Like even when it's something bad, there's a good that comes from that. But I think you have to be in a certain place to really accept that and believe it. And years ago, like you said, I wasn't there.
Mm,
I am there now. Like um, there could be bad things that happen in your life, and maybe that's what's got the three of us sitting here right now talking about God and growing with Him instead of walking near Him. But I
mm,
don't know. I just
yeah, for sure, dude. Like back in the day, like you you can feel God working in your life. Like it's God. You know, like I was consistently praying for things, and like it was like, all right, I'm leveling up. It's going, it's going, it's going, and then all of a sudden, all right, it's gone, and you're like, well, why? Why me? Like I was doing everything I was supposed to. Like why all of a sudden now? And like that was really hard to sit with years ago because it's like, well, damn, I'm a good person. I'm doing everything. I'm going to church on Sundays. Like I'm really paying attention. I'm diving deep into the word a little bit, and then just you hit rock bottom, and and that's where I've had that cycle happen a lot, and it's just like now where I'm at in my life now, it's there's situations where like I don't want to say it hit rock bottom, but it's like, well, it's like, well, what the hell, like what's going on? Why is this changed? Why is this like where's the transformation in this? And like I am now thinking, okay, well, right, what do I need to work on? Like where's God really trying to pull me with this going wrong? And like from this mindset to the back then mindset, it's just a complete change, dude. Like I know I already said this already too. So it's just like, but it's just like it really did like on this from real talk, it really did like put in perspective for me where who I was to where I am now, and just like that growth with God is big.
it's big dog.
Oh
And
goodness.
Where are you at, Taylor? Because I'd like to hear some about. I
Just
mean,
like
obviously we grew up together, but you in two states over.
I'd like to
And
hear somebody else other than Marty talk.
I was trying to say it politely, but um, I I know like growing up, your mom, like you guys were always going to church. It was a big part of your life. Did you ever have like when you were younger, kind of like Finley, like you just that's what you knew and that's what you believed. You had that childlike faith, and then did you hit a spot? Like, do you remember going through that, or
I mean, for sure, man, I've wrestled on and off about faith, uh, different pastors. I don't the lots of the biggest struggles in my life is uh I'd say biggest wounds actually would be from people in the church, uh,
mm,
which
And that
really
hits
makes
differently.
it, yeah. I mean, growing up, you just assume the pastor or the whoever has, I guess, the adult has authority. So you just kind of think like, oh, whatever they say is the law. And it created a lot of confusion and pain and hurt kind of through my teenage years, which also led to like, okay, let me seek out things to help numb this. And I really had to wrestle with that for a long time, probably 10 or 15 years.
Dang. I didn't really think that was going to be as deep of an answer as I just got.
Oh, because I said it.
No, yeah, that does think, and that's something I don't know. I don't think people like talking about that either. Is like you were talking specifically leaders in the church, but I think like I don't know how to say this without sounding like um.
I mean, you
But
get
how many Christians are they're like, oh, I am Christian, I am this, but like they think they're bringing people to God, but they're pushing people away. Like they push more people away from God than bringing them to Him.
man, I've had that happen with my best friend. One of my best friends. Well, we're not friends anymore, but like like I'm a firm believer in like I'm not gonna push anything on you, whether it's religion, my political views, whatever it is. And like it's gonna come to you when you're ready. And I just had a friend who just kept digging and digging and digging, and it's just like it really turned me off, like to like wanting to get closer with God. It's like, are you baptized? Are you doing this? Oh, what's your
Mm.
relationship with God like? Or blah, blah, like just constantly. And I'm like, bro, like I don't want to talk about this right now. Like we're hanging out, we're maybe 16 years old, 17 years old. And
Oh,
and
I'm
it's just
glad
like
you clarified that. I
it,
was about to ask you if you're talking about me because I've been asking you where you're at. I just told you need to get baptized last week. I was like, is he seriously telling me we're not friends? Is this how you're breaking up with me?
but no, like it sometimes it's just like at the end of the day, you're gonna find it in your own way. And whether it takes years, whether it takes months, like for me, it took years, man. It took 15 years for me to really want to do this and really want to just follow and really try to put God at the center. And like the church, like I don't want to say my church, but other churches, like not just like ones I've experienced from other people as well. Like the church can burn you, like when it's not where it should be, and like when there's ulterior motives behind it. And you know, like the church I go to now, that me and Brad go to now, like I think they're a great organization. And they've done a lot for my family in our times of grief and things like that. So it's like, like I'm pretty loyal to that church because I've gone to that church maybe for like the last 7 years. And they haven't changed. They have the same mission of just trying to like reach the whole valley to just worship God. And they're not pressuring about it. Like it's really just like, hey, you're gonna sit here, chill. You can listen if you want to. You can listen to the music if you want to. We're gonna do our service, and then we'll get you out of here. So it's like, I think that's just the type of vibe I like from our church. When it comes to previous churches, it's just like, you're a sinner, you're going to hell, blah 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 blah. Like
Yeah, I've
it's
heard that from a couple people. There's a couple. My mother-in-law actually was talking about a certain church that.
I thought you said your mother-in-law was telling you that.
Yeah, my mother-in-law. She might have thought it once or twice, but she's pretty nice. She wouldn't actually say that to me, I don't think. She might have thought it throughout the last 14, 15 years, but no, we were just talking about different churches, and she had an experience with a church that was like, um, that was kind of like that. Like everything was negative and do this or you go to hell, do this or you go to hell. The one thing I would say differently about our church is that it's not a okay, let's do this and get out of here. They do a good job of here's the service, but then they create a community around it. Like here's really good food for cheap. Like it makes you want to stay and like spend time with family or friends. Like it's a good place to hang out and just kind of be there.
And what they do for the
Create that
kids
community.
too. Like the biggest thing is like the special needs community. What they do for those kids, and it's just like a lot of places don't do that. Like those kids don't get the services they need, and like for them to be able to like give them like some type of normal, you know, thing that these other kids that typical kids get. Like it's really cool to see that, and I think that's what really like touched my heart when it comes to like that church. So
Is that um I realized that I had already hit my third strike, so I'm not gonna make fun of you anymore. But we could stop it, pumping up our own church real quick. They're doing just fine without us talking about them. I
that's true.
would think it would be cool though to one of these days when we get out to Dallas, then you come out here like to go to your church and because I've been to other churches, but honestly, I got Marty beat by I don't know almost 3 times. Um, I went to this church first time. Buddy of mine, shout out Ryan. He brought me to a high school service.
Big Rye.
Um, no, he doesn't go by Ryan. He actually would be really mad if he said that. So cut that out, or I'm
We'll
gonna
let
lose a
it.
friend.
My bad, Ryan.
Um,
My
and
bad, big dog.
definitely, but yeah. So I think sophomore year. So what are you as a sophomore? 16. Oh shoot. Yeah, I've been going there for 23 years. And I've gone to a church here and there, like in between, like with friends or whatever. But I just always came back there because they're just
So did you get
um,
stock or something?
no. Well, I don't know. Hopefully, I go to heaven. That's about you know that's all the stock I need. But I think what I've any church that's like people go to and is the pastor is just like humble. Like it's not like oh I'm perfect. Like he's able to say like hey I mess this stuff up too, and I think that's kind of where we're at and what we were trying to accomplish here is like you don't have to have it all figured out to be able to sit down and talk all about it out loud. It can be messy and just has to be motivated by the right things and just continue to follow them. At the end of the day, good talk, good talk.
I'm
Um,
probably.
What's the takeaway, Brad?
yeah, what I was gonna say is basically, um, I guess through those three, like 4, 5, and 6, you had like the three big stories. There were other stories in there, but those were the three that stuck out to me. Like there's someone searching, there's someone who is stuck, and then there's people following for the wrong reasons. And um, all basically points to the same thing that we keep looking in the wrong places and at the wrong things, whether that's a person, a place, a thing.
Nouns.
And yeah. Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is I saw and felt myself in all three of those at different times. It might not be all three of them now, but I had been the person that was following for the wrong reasons, and I was stuck for many, many years in trying to unstick myself. Um, and before that, I was searching. I was, I might have been here going there for 23 years, but how many of those years I was just kind of
It's in limbo,
floating around like a butterfly, just floating around, but not really staying anywhere, Um,
in purgatory. Sorry,
but I think that's,
never mind.
no, go ahead. This has already gotten off the rails. Let's roll with
I
it.
was just gonna say I just watched Dante's Inferno.
Oh man.
It
Bro,
was
this is why you're so tired and you can't go to worship night with me, because you're up all night watching movies.
hey, it was about. I mean, I'm not even gonna say what it's about. We'll put the link in the bio.
We're not putting Dante's Inferno link in our bio. Do not. If you're listening, don't even look for it. It's not there. I deleted it.
But I'll just say it. To On a serious note, though, like what I got from all this was just like, just truly pay attention to your exchanges, like what you're giving your time to, what's gonna keep like what you keep going back to, and then like what keeps leaving you empty. So I think that's where I'm really at, because what Jesus is offering is, it's not temporary. Like it's
Yeah.
something that's gonna actually build that foundation and hold up, and that's where me as a person, I just gotta really, really just take the reins on that. Better?
Yeah.
That was more serious. Without the Dante's Inferno bio would be great. Taylor, you got any
I was
takeaways
gonna
or anything you
say,
want to add?
kind of piggybacking off what Marty is saying, is really, do I want to be thirsty and hungry for bread and water of this world, or do I want to thirst after eternal water and never be thirsty again?
Yeah.
Where's my focus at?
Yeah, and I
Who am I
think going
following?
back, right, and going back, I think kind of putting it all together, just the goal is not to fix everything overnight. It's not to be perfect by tomorrow morning. It's just to stop going back and staying with him.
Not
I think
even
is
keep going back, it's choosing to go back, and I think that's where it's hard.
yeah, like stumbling backwards. That's one thing. Like but making the conscious decision to go away. But yeah, I think that was I think we got a good fill in this week, and next week we move on to, what is that? We already talked about our math, so 6.
7 through
Next
10.
week we'll do 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 through 10 next week. Sounds good.
Just all 7. Oh, you can't even see it. The dang background.
Where is his fingers?
That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna close on prayer, and we will see you next week. God, thank you for this time and these conversations that we're able to have, and help us stop looking for fulfillment in the wrong places and to turn towards you. God, we just ask that you give us strength to change where we need where we need to be, and um, just not stay stuck. Help us follow you, and not for what you can give to us, but for who you are. And for anyone listening, and guide us all to be closer to you. In Jesus' name, pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Bye.
We're still on.